looks when I carried her books in Kalamazoo. Zoo, 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 zoo. I'm gonna send a wire, hopping on a plane, leaving today. Am I dreaming? I can hear her screaming, "Hiya, Mr. Jackson, everything's okay." A-L-A-M-A-C-O. Oh, what a gal, a real pipperoo. I'll make my bid for that freckle-faced kid I'm hurrying to. I'm going to Michigan to see the sweetest gal in Kalamazoo. Freckle-faced kid I'm hurrying to. We're going to Michigan to see the sweetest gal in Kalamazoo. Zoo, 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 zoo. I got a gal where in Kalamazoo. Kalamazoo. I don't want to boast, but I know she's a toast of Kalamazoo. Zoo, 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 zoo. Years have gone by. My, how she grew. Man, did she grew. I liked her looks when I carried her books in Kalamazoo. Zoo, 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 zoo. I'm gonna spend a while hopping on a flyer, leaving today. Am I dreaming? I can tell screaming. Hiya, Mr. Jackson. Everything's okay. A-L-A-M-A-C-O. Oh, what a gal, a real kipperoo. She's a fine chick. I'm gonna make my bid for the freckle-faced kid I'm hurrying to. Going to Michigan to see the sweetest gal in Kalamazoo.
released at last, that would have to be the longest ever version, but also the best of I Got a Gal in Kalamazoo by the Glenn Miller Orchestra. Well, after this next break, I got a track by one of Bing Crosby's rivals, and the time is coming up to 12 minutes to 8.
Thanks for the Memory is proudly sponsored by Frampton's Carpets of Burwood Highway, Ferntree Gully. Call them for a winning carpet deal.
I think it's time we looked at some new carpets.
So let's go to Frampton's Carpets.
Should it be shag, loop pile, low pile, nylon, maybe Invicta?
Frampton's have great deals on Invicta.
And about colour?
Frampton's Carpets interior experts will advise you.
Coordination with curtains is important.
Frampton's have window furnishings too, and they service all of Melbourne.
I've got it. Let's go to Frampton's Carpets.
Oh, I'm glad you thought of it.
Frampton's Carpets of Ferntree Gully, 766 Burwood Highway, just near McDonald's. Phone 758-2478 for a winning deal on carpets today.
Today, many businesses are finding it difficult to compete against imported products. For them, TQC, Total Quality Control, could provide the answer. TQC is the path to products and services of consistent quality at competitive prices, increasing productivity by working smarter rather than harder. Let's get our industries really working. Write to Australia for quality. Box 3600 GPO Sydney for details.
This is Thanks for the Memory, and back to your host, Bob Machliss.
A song you normally associate with Bing Crosby is South America, Take It Away. Well, tonight we have a version by one of Bing's main rivals in the 40s, Buddy Clark. The backing to this one, though, is provided by the king of South American music himself, Xavier Cougar.
America, babaloo, babaloo, aye, babaloo, one favor you can do, aye, you can do. You beautiful lands below, don't know what you began. To put it plainly, I'm tired of shaking to that Pan-American plan. Back your samba, aye. Your rumba, aye. Your conga, aye, aye, aye. I can't keep shaking aye. My rumble aye. Any longer, aye, aye, aye. Now maybe Latins aye. In their middles aye. Are built stronger, aye, aye, aye. But all this making with the quaking and the shaking of the bacon leaves me aching. Ole, first you shake it and you put it there. First you shake it and you put it here. Then you shake it and you put it there. That's enough, that's enough. Take it back, my spine's out of whack. There's a great big crack in the back of my sacroiliac. Take back your old conga, aye. Your samba, aye. Your rumba, aye, aye, aye. Why can't you send us aye. A less strenuous number, aye, aye, aye. My hips are creaking aye. And shrieking, aye. Caramba, aye, aye, aye. I hear the rocking of maracas and the knocking of the knockers in my carcass. Holy, this fancy swishing in position wears out all of my transmission ammunition. Holy, I know there's danger really lurking if my rear end keeps them working at this jerkin'. Holy, South America, take it away.
I think I prefer Bing's record of South America, Take It Away. But that version by Buddy Clark does make an interesting contrast. Tell me now, do you remember the Metronome All-Stars? That fabulous group put together as a result of a write-in poll by the readers of Metronome magazine in the USA? Their 1941 recording of Bugle Call Rag includes the mighty talents of Benny Goodman, Harry James, Ziggy Elman, Count Basie, Coleman Hawkins and Harry James. just to name a few. Bugle call rag. Weren't there some brilliant solos on that one? Well, the time now is coming up to 4 minutes to 8. Of course, the Metronome All-Stars weren't the only collection of top artists to record together. Back in 1937, for example, RCA got together some of their top jazz artists, including Bunny Berrigan, Tommy Dorsey and Fats Waller, and put out a series of records under the title of the RCA Victor All-Stars. Here they perform one of Waller's big hits, Honeysuckle Rose, a real jam session, as they used to say. honeysuckle rose. No wonder they called them the All-Stars. Well, after the 8 o'clock news, we'll be back with Bing, some bloopers, and more Benny Goodman.
Good evening. I'm Charles Collins. The bomb which exploded in Caroline Street, South Yarra this morning was the biggest in Victoria's history. The bomb detonated underneath the Turkish consulate at 2:16 a.m, killing one person and slightly injuring another. Several people were treated for shock. A group calling itself the Greek, Bulgarian, Armenian Front claimed responsibility for the blast in a call to the French press agency in Sydney and warned that they would strike again. Editor-in-chief of the French press agency, David Davis, says the caller sounded genuine in his threat, but says there was no evidence provided by the caller to prove that he was genuine. Prime Minister Hawke has condemned the attack, which he says horrifies him, and he says steps will be taken to protect consulates and consulate facilities. Inspector Darryl Clark has been placed in charge of a specially convened task force. He headed the investigation into the Russell Street bombing. In Manila, tension reached burning point today, with the rumours of coups combining with 3 political assassinations in the last 11 days, forcing President Corazon Aquino to put the military on super red alert. Mrs. Aquino called an emergency cabinet meeting at which she asked all of her ministers to resign. She immediately accepted the resignation of Defence Minister Juan Ponce Enrile. The rumours were that Mr. Enrile was openly criticising Mrs. Aquino's policies and planned a coup with Armed Forces Chief Fidel Ramos. However, early in the day, General Ramos stated his support for President Aquino and ordered his troops to accept orders from nobody but himself or his deputies. Troops had been placed around the government-run television station and the local Catholic radio network. Mrs. Aquino has announced the appointment of Rafael Alito to succeed Mr. Enrile. Alito is a West Point graduate with a military and diplomatic background. The Royal Australian Nursing Federation has rejected an ACTU proposal on its claims. The decision follows almost 6 hours of talks in Melbourne involving the ACTU and RANF executives from all states and territories. Irene Bolger, RANF Victorian State Secretary, says the proposals included a pay structure lower than that claimed, which is at the centre of the long-running dispute. Ms Bolger says it's part of an ACTU plan to submit a proposal on behalf of the RANF tomorrow at the State Industrial Commission. She says she's concerned the ACTU may go ahead with the submission despite its already being rejected by the nurses. A meeting of the full federal ministry of Prime Minister Bob Hawke has taken place, with the ministry reviewing its performance for 1986 and planning strategy for next year. Mr Hawke says that the discussions were a calm and rational review of the year.
And we will go on with the task with which we've been entrusted by the Australian people, and we'll do it well in 1987.
Queensland have taken first innings points in the Sheffield Shield match being played in Wangaratta. And to add insult to injury, the Vics have been forced to follow on after falling 39 runs short of the mark. Queensland hit an impressive 523 in their first innings, leaving Victoria a target of 373 to avoid the follow-on. Despite a magnificent century from Jamie Siddons and 71 not out from Tony Dodemaide, the Vics were dismissed for 334. In their second innings, they're none for 33. Watmore's on 19, and Dodemaide, who was sent straight back out by Captain Ray Bright, is on 9. Greg Norman has won the West Australian Open, his fourth state golfing title in 7 weeks. Michael Davis reports.
Norman started the final round 2 shots behind Terry Gale, but he shot 68 over the last 18 holes, while Gale could only manage 71. The shot that won it for Norman was a 4-metre putt on the 18th hole. He finished on 276 for 72 holes, 12 under par. Gale finished 11 under on 277. Third place went to 7 shots further back, Peter Senior. Norman was jaded after the first 2 rounds, but became motivated when he had the chance to top the Australian money list. He now heads home for a well-deserved 6-week break in Florida, but he'll be back in Australia for February. An exciting women's event, Kathy Baker pipped Jan Stevenson by a shot. At Lake Karrinyup, this is Michael Davis for 3DB Newsfront.
News time is 8:04.
Al Todd is your best late-night friend. Every night at 11 on Melbourne's own 3DB. Toddy cares and shares.
He's a friend in need, and he's also a lot of fun. Hal Todd, every night at 11 on Melbourne's own 3DB.
Melbourne's weather. Tomorrow will be fine and mostly sunny with a light wind and afternoon sea breezes. A minimum tonight of 10 degrees and a top tomorrow of 23. Tuesday will be fine with a top in the high 20s. Wednesday and Thursday will both be humid with late thunderstorms both days and a maximum in the high 20s. On the bays, southerly winds of 10 to 15 knots overnight, tending southeasterly to easterly tomorrow at a similar strength. Afternoon sea breezes to 10 knots and a slight to choppy sea. Currently in Melbourne, it's 14 degrees. I'm Charles Collins.
This has been 3DB Newsfront.
Thanks for the Memories, proudly brought to you by Frampton's Carpets of Burwood Highway, Ferntree Gully. And here again is Bob Machliss.
Thank you, Mr. McKay. You're a gentleman and an announcer. And the time is just 5.5 minutes past 8 o'clock as we enter this third hour of Thanks for the Memory. And we start with a high-toned piece of musical culture recorded in the late 1940s by a group called Red Ingle and his Natural Seven, a group that seems to be setting itself up along the lines of Spike Jones and his City Slickers. This record warns of the dangers of associating with, in any way, shape or form, those three unspeakable evils: cigarettes and whiskey and wild, wild women.
A preachment, dear friends, you're about to receive on John Barleycorn, nicotine, and the temptations of Eve.
Okay, that's it. It was so good.
Oh, once I was happy and had a good wife. I had enough money to last me for life. I met with a gal and we went on a spree. She taught me to smoke and drink whiskey, cigarettes and whiskey and wild, wild women. And drive you crazy, they'll drive you insane. Cigarettes and whiskey and wild, wild women. They'll drive you crazy, they'll drive you insane.
Hey, sing Temptation, will you? Please.
Cigarettes is a blot on the whole human race. A man is a monkey with one in his face. Here's my definition, believe me, dear brother. A fire on one and a fool on the t'other. Cigarettes and whiskey and wild, wild women. They'll drive you crazy, they'll drive you insane. Cigarettes and whiskey and wild, wild women. They'll drive you crazy, they'll drive you insane.
Sing Temptation, will you?
Dear friend, somebody get that bum out of here. Brother, repent or they'll write on your grave. 2 women and whiskey, here lies a poor slave. Take warning, dear stranger, take warning, dear friend. They'll write in big letters these words at the end. Cigarettes and whiskey and wild, wild women. They'll drive you crazy, they'll drive you insane. Cigarettes and whiskey and wild, wild women. They'll drive you crazy, they'll drive you insane.
Listen, I want to hear Temptation, you hear? That's what I want to hear, Temptation.
Hold it, brother. My friend, I'm afraid you're in the wrong place. We don't sing that kind of music here.
Okay, then show us your muscles.
And let that be... Excuse me. And let that be a lesson to you. Cigarettes and whiskey and wild, wild women. I guess today that would be recorded as sex, drugs and rock and roll, although somehow that doesn't quite have the same feeling. Well, as you may know, if you've been listening to this program over the past few weeks, I happen to be the president of the Victorian Bing Crosby Society, and that seems to be all the excuse I need to tell you about our next film evening, which is coming up on Monday, December the 8th, which is not all that far away. And the main feature of the evening, very timely for the upcoming Christmas season, is Holiday Inn, Bing's 1942 classic. You're very welcome to attend this screening, even if you're not a member of the Society. And if you'd like to grab hold of a pencil and paper while our next track is playing, I'll give you details of where to write afterwards. Holiday Inn has so many great Irving Berlin songs that I thought I'd put together a little preview that features a little of each one. Most are by Bing, although a couple are by Fred Astaire. And there's one with both of them together. OK, Frank, let her rip.
Happy holiday, while the merry bells keep ringing, may your every wish come true. Happy holiday, may the calendar keep bringing happy holidays to you. Be careful. It's my heart. It's not my watch you're holding. It's my heart. It's not the note I sent you that you quickly burned. It's not the book I lent you that you never return. Remember, it's my heart, the heart with which so willingly I part. It's yours to take, to keep or break, but please, before you start, be careful, it's my heart. Upon a February morn, a tiny baby boy was born, Abraham. When he grew up, this tiny babe, the folks all called him Honest Abe. Abraham. Your Easter bonnet, with all the frills upon it, you'll be the grandest lady in the Easter parade. I'll be all in clover, and when they look you over, I'll be the proudest fella in the Easter parade. I'm singing a song of freedom for all people who cry out to be free. Free to sail the seven seas, free to worship as we please. If the birds up in the trees can be free, why can't we? I'm bringing a song of freedom to all people wherever they may be. I could say that you're homely, just as homely as pie. But this is Washington's birthday, and I've got to say you're beautiful, 'cause I can't tell a lie. I could say that you're stupid, nothing up in your crown. But this is Washington's birthday, and the truthful he of the cherry tree would look down on me and frown. Lazy, I just want to be lazy. I long to be out in the sun with no work to be done under that awning they call the sky, stretching and yawning, and let the world go drifting by. I want to peep through the deep tangled wildwood, counting sheep childhood with a great big valise full of books to read where it's peaceful while I'm killing time being lazy.
Here she comes down the street.
My, oh my, ain't she sweet?
Why, here comes my hot toddy.
Look out over my dead body. I'll capture her heart singing.
Just wait until she gets a load of my dancing. Yeah.
Just wait till I start singing.
I'll take her strolling down the road with my dancing.
I've got plenty to be thankful for. I haven't got a great big yacht to sail from shore to shore. Still, I've got plenty to be thankful for. I've got plenty to be thankful for. No private car, no caviar, no carpet on my floor. Still, I've got plenty to be thankful for.
I could dance nightly just holding you tightly, my sweet. I could keep right on because you're so light on your feet. You're easy to dance with. There is no doubt in the way we stand out in the crowd. Though it's called dancing to me, it's romancing out loud. You're easy to dance with.
Let's watch the old year die with a fond goodbye and our hopes as high as a kite. How can our love go wrong if we start the new year right?
And the time has just gone 17 minutes past 8 on Melbourne's own 3DB. That's a pretty amazing collection of numbers, is it not? And they're all from Holiday Inn. Of course, there was one more song. No, I haven't forgotten it, White Christmas. Incidentally, this is the original 1942 recording you're about to hear. You know, the only one that's ever been reissued on LP is a re-recording of the song that's being made some 4 years later. This earlier waxing is a little different in many small ways. If you know the later recording, I'm sure that you'll hear them.
May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white.
The one and only White Christmas from Bing. After this break, we'll be back with that address for the Victorian Bing Crosby Society.
21 past 8 at Melbourne's own 3DB. And Thanks for the Memory is proudly brought to you by Frampton's Carpets of Burwood Highway, Ferntree Gully. Call them for a winning carpet deal. I think it's time we looked at some new carpets.
So let's go to Frampton's Carpets.
Should it be shag, loop pile, low pile, nylon, maybe Invicta?
Frampton's have great deals on Invicta.
And about colour.
Frampton's Carpets interior experts will advise you.
Coordination with curtains is important.
Frampton's have window furnishings too, and they service all of Melbourne.
I've got it. Let's go to Frampton's Carpets.
Oh, I'm glad you thought of it.
Frampton's Carpets of Ferntree Gully, 766 Burwood Highway, just near McDonald's. Phone 758-2478 for a winning deal on carpets today. Mouth-watering, succulent, delicious. Words that describe the famous Swagman smorgasbord. Tantalizing, staggering, massive. More words that describe the famous Swagman smorgasbord. Inexpensive, value for money, surprisingly affordable. Words that describe the famous Swagman's low prices. Only $15.50 for dinner Sunday to Thursday evening. Dazzling, spectacular, entertaining. The Big Floor Show. Book now at the famous Swagman in Ferntree Gully. It's a feast. It's a wow. This is Thanks for the Memory, and back to your host, Bob Machliss.
And the time is just after 22 minutes past 8. And now, that address for details if you'd like to attend our screening of Holiday Inn on Monday, December 8th. It's the Victorian Bing Crosby Society, Post Office Box 422, South Melbourne. That's Post Office Box 422, South Melbourne. If you write this week, I'll get right back to you. Well, moving along now, we come to some more radio bloopers. Things that went to air in the good old days of live radio in America. Things that definitely shouldn't have gone to air. Thanks, Frank.
And in the head-on collision of the two passenger cars, 5 people were killed in the crash. 2 seriously.
And now, back to Paul Harvey.
Oh, did you see today's Wall Street Journal trying to cheer itself up? Reports on the lady who was shopping for a frilly nightgown as a birthday present for her pet poodle. They didn't have any, but the store clerk said, if you'll measure the dog, we'll have one made. And the lady said, oh, I couldn't do that. I want it to be a surprise. Page 2.
One of the most spectacular kinds of automobile accidents is the one in which a car not only gets banged up, but bursts into flames. What makes it really horrible is the idea that a driver and his passengers, stunned by the accident, may be trapped inside the burning car. The National Safety Council says that, fortunately for most of us, this type of spectacular smash-up is very rare. Only one driver... Good night, Mother.
Protest demonstrations have taken place by workers whose trade union rights have been betrayed, by Catholics whose freedom of expression has been circumscribed, by professional men... Well, I believe it at least is a Christian right.
Our next number is Tchaikovsky's Violin Concerto, featuring our own violin virtuoso, Saal Tannenbaum. You will notice Mr. Tannenbaum plays passages of ease with the greatest of difficulty.
And now for the latest from the fashion world. It is good news for men. Women are going to wear their dresses. Yeah. And now for the latest. And now for the latest from the fashion world. It is good news for men. Women are not going to wear their dresses any longer this year.
All the world was thrilled with the marriage of the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. So, friends, don't forget to visit your A&Pool feed store.
Steinberg's department store has just received a shipment of large-size bathing suits. Ladies, now you can buy a bathing suit for a ridiculous figure. Ladies, does your husband wake up in the morning feeling listless?
Vice President Humphrey got a boost for a new job today. Senator George McGovern, Democrat of South Dakota, says the Vice President would be a good man to head a worldwide war on Hungary. Or rather, hunger.
The Soviet Union today launched a new multi-seat spaceship with 3 cosmonauts aboard. TASS, the official Soviet news agency, reported that the spaceship Mossad carried a pilot, a scientist, and a doctor. The agency, which gave no hint of how long the space trio would stay aloft, said the flight was being made to carry out scientific, physical, and technical investigations of a space flight and to continue to study the effects of different factors of space flight on man's orgasms. The spaceship... Hello? Hello, Yard.
Yes, well, I'm sure those sort of things still happen today, and judging from the way Frank McKay was cackling around, rolling around the studio floor, Frank McKay, I'm sorry, Frank, I guess they still happen in 3DB. And bloopers also happened in recording studios in the old days, and a lot have survived, especially from the time of wax recording. Occasionally, a blooper was actually... Occasionally, a blooper was actually released to the public because it turned out better than the original. And the most famous example of this is the Drunkard song by Rudy Valley from the mid-1930s. The record was even given a special label that looked like a handwritten note. The first part says, "Dear Rudy, what do you say we let the public have this one? The slip-up makes the record much funnier. Signed, E. Wallerstein." And the reply, in a different hand, simply says, "OK, R. Valley." The real reason why Valley breaks into infectious laughter in the middle of this one has been lost in the mists of time. But it doesn't really matter. It's still a very, very funny recording.
There is a tavern in the town, and there my true love sits him down, and drinks his wine as merry as can be, and never, never thinks of me. Fare thee well, for I must leave thee. Do not let the parting grieve thee. Oh, the time is come for you and I to say goodbye, adieu. Adieu, kind friends, adieu.
Yes, adieu.
I can no longer stay with you.
Stay with you.
Oh, I'll hang my heart on a weeping willow tree. Fare thee well, fare thee well, fare thee well. He left me for a damsel dark.
Damsel dark.
Each Friday night they used to spark.
Used to spark.
And now my love, who once was true to me, takes that dark damsel on his knee. Fare thee well, for I must leave thee. Do not let the parting grieve thee. Oh, the time is come for you and I to say goodbye. Adieu, adieu, kind friends, adieu.
Yes, adieu.
Oh, I can no longer stay with you.
Stay with you.
Oh, I'll hang my heart on a weeping willow tree. Fare thee well, fare thee well, fare thee well. And now I see him nevermore.
Nevermore.
He never, never knocks upon my door.
On my door.
Oh, is me. He penned a little note. I'll read you the words in. Fare thee well, for I must leave thee. Do not let the parting grieve thee all the time. And me to say goodbye. I'll go, adieu, kind friends, adieu.
Yes, adieu.
Oh, I can't no longer stay with you. I hang my heart on a weeping willow tree. Fare thee well, fare thee well. Oh, dig my grave both wide and deep.
Wide and deep.
Put tombstones at my head and feet.
Head and feet.
And on my breast, just carve a turtle dove to sing if I will love. Fare thee well, for I must leave thee. Do not let the parting grieve thee. Oh, the time has come for you and I to say goodbye. Adieu, kind friends, adieu.
Yes, adieu.
I can no longer stay with you.
Stay with you.
Oh, I'll hang my heart on a weeping willow tree. Fare thee well, fare thee well, fare thee well.